you are doing some broadcast stuff, or you have in the past with Bathurst. Things like that. Is that you want to do more of that stuff? Because we think you're great on it.
Oh, thank you.
Because you've got.
I know you've got some tough critics here, so.
Well, yeah. Exactly.
It's Elliot, actually. He's very critical of the broadcast team.
I just upset everyone. I don't know why. But because you've got that technical background, as you say, you fixed a car with a bobby pin, it comes across really well on camera. But yeah, more of that in the pipeline?
I hope so. I really enjoy it. It's another world altogether, and it's like a completely different skill to learn. It's much easier being the ones answering the questions than the one trying to ask the questions while someone's talking into you, and you try and think up a question and trying to remember everything that happened that's relevant to that person, and then you remember your question, you ask the question, they go, just one more, and you're like,
like, fuck, that's all I had.
I do have to ask, so have you had that moment where you're like, I've got nothing?
Yeah.
I had it where I could feel the back sweat at Queensland Raceway. I had Brock Feeney had won. Sorry to hijack the question, but I wanted to know if it's not just me that thinks that.
No.
I was panicking going, I've got nothing. And I knew that I was next because the other two had asked a question and I'm going, fuck. I even messaged our group chat and said, hey, you guys got anything for Brock to help me out? Because I had nothing.
This is so unlike Scott to not have something to say.
Yeah, because there is lots of things. And if you
okay.
think about it, like, sitting back on the couch, you can think of 1,000 things. Yeah. Or like you've got a list and, of all obvious points, but for a second it's like you go completely blank and it's like, wait, who won?
Yeah, it's
like the most stupid. Yeah, it's a different skill altogether. So I still feel very much like a rookie in that sense. And yeah, there's a lot of mechanical stuff and motorsport stuff that carries over, but then there's a lot of nuance in that supercars world as well. But it's cool for me to be able to go in and see the level that all those teams operate at, how they go about it, all the differences, and just being able to, I guess rather than being just in one team and focused on what you're doing, just being able to like walk in and out of all the garages, it's wild. I really enjoy that part of it.
Yeah, Gart's had a really good opportunity as a co-driver to be able to walk in now. Everyone's fit, have a look. No, I swear I'm not taking anything back.
That's what Spring there got in the front, right? These guys have got this.
Exactly. He doesn't have to get under. He just walks in and has a look at the table.
Yeah.
I had I think I might have messaged you after one of them. One of the races you did, I really appreciated because you do understand mechanically enough to be able to relay that to the audience in a really good way, kind of like what Larko does, without overcomplicating it. And there was one I think it was a suspension failure on BJR, and I remember you actually remembered what exactly, well, you didn't remember.
I just don't remember it now.
Yeah, but I do remember I think it might have been on the Podwheel complimentary, and I remember you explained what had failed on the car, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad that wasn't me in the pit lane because I wouldn't have a fucking clue what she's talking about. So the mechanical knowledge does help.
Oh,
and then, I think on broadcast you do a very good job.
Oh, thank you.
So it would be good to see you do more.
There's plenty of times I say something that I'm like, that was stupid. Or like I missed that point or should have said that. But I think it's one of those things that's easy to look back in hindsight, and you just got to be, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. And I think sort of getting to know all the teams and all the people in the teams is so important because, you need to be able to go up and say what failed, but also equally if there's something that they might not want broadcast or something, like to be able to have the trust so they can tell you exactly what's happened, but also like how to bring that across, what to say, what not to say, and so that they're not just not telling you anything. Trying to build that and all that stuff. I think there's a real skill in all of that.
I wanted to, I'm very envious that you got to do Race Champions, so I don't want to skip over that because that is one of the coolest things. I've been and watched it once in Bangkok and I thought it was the coolest thing to watch. But now you did beat Johan Kristoffersen, and I actually laughed because you said earlier about like lining up and beating these people.
Yeah.
Did that help make it feel a little more normal when you're sitting beside someone like Sebastian Vettel at the start of that first heat that was in your documentary?
Oh yeah, it was wild. Like that whole experience because firstly just to be invited there, I'm like, are you sure you want me? That was unreal, and just like kind of going there almost feeling out of your depth when you rock up and then there's all these people just all sitting around in a room. But I felt like as soon as I got there, I've never felt like more just like one of everyone else. Everyone was just so cool. Everyone was there just to have fun. Like it was competitive when it got out onto the track, obviously, but just like in all the other events and stuff around it, you never kind of felt out of place, which was kind of weird because I thought that was going to be the feeling going in, but was so welcoming. And then to drive out onto the stadium and hear the crowd, like I've never ever experienced that in motorsport before ever. So that was wild, and I kept trying to tell myself like not to get overwhelmed by it and actually enjoy it because you're going to look back and be like, this is one of the coolest things you've ever done. And then to have to be coming around the finish line and seeing like I was neck and neck with Vettel, I was like, watching.
Yeah,
Formula One world champion.
Jesus Christ. That gave me a lot of confidence. But then lining up against Johan, like I've raced with him and against him, and you know, it's incredible. So like didn't want to write myself off. I was going to go out there and go as fast as I could, but I was realistic that I thought I was going to get knocked out in the first round. And then, when we were coming around and I had a bit more momentum, I was like, I'm going to hold this one against him for as long as I possibly can.
Keep reminding him. I actually loved how much everyone celebrated for you when you beat him. They were like,
unreal,
everyone was rooting for you, I think, not just Dan.
I'm like,
Dan
is this
was
what footy
screaming.
players feel like every weekend?
Yeah, when you got a 50-50 shot of winning, you mean?
Yeah.
Fuck, that's brutal with motorsport.
Exactly.
It was very cool though. That must be good fun. Will Brown said it was one of the coolest things he's ever done.
Yeah.
He said that getting to race against them as well, and he's got to know now Travis, and it is. Yeah, I'm very envious of that. What different cars did you practice in that as well when you got there and drive some different cars?
You got like 3 laps in all the cars.
Shit.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was going to ask.
And it was just a draw. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you get to practice in anything similar prior?
So I went up to Norwell
Right.
before. I rang Paul and was like, doing Race of Champions and I haven't driven anything in 5 months.
Drive the 86 or something similar.
Yeah. So they've got some 86s and BRZs. So, being the Subaru girls.
Yep.
drives
Straight in the
BRZ.
BRZ.
Straight in it. Yeah.
Stupid Toyota thing.
Has he added those up there?
It's got a couple of BRZ, a lot of 86s, but there's a few BRZs there as well.
That's good. You didn't need a.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't
I
need
could
to cheat
stay
on
on
brand.
brand and everything.
Yeah, perfect.
Took the Can-Am up there. Just did some driving around. Did like plenty of laps in the go-kart so in my head I was doing something.
Yep.
Some of Race of Champions Wembley Stadium on the sim. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I remember Jamie when he did the Bangkok one, he practiced a lot. Like him and Mick Doohan. Yeah, they were, I don't know where they did it, whether it was at Norwell or somewhere, but they practiced a lot. And I don't know that it actually does translate. I think you need to just drive some different stuff. But
Yes.
it looks so unique anyway because the surface of
Surface
Yeah.
are unique.
like it looks, I don't know, almost like you're better off just trusting that you can drive a car and
100%,
and just arrive
yeah.
and give it everything you got. And I think you'd probably be more at risk of making a little mistake and losing because the finishes were so close anyway.
Yes,
If you executed.
And the track was so slow. Like it was all first, second gear in the BRZ and in the other cars, I think maybe in the KTM, did you get to third or fourth along the straight? But the speed was so slow. So it was all about like that precision and that kind of more boring style of driving. If you tried to chuck it around or use the handbrake in the 86 or the BRZ, you would just lose time. So it was all that real discipline.
Flow and momentum.
Yeah.
Do you know if there'd be a call up to do another one? Because a few of them have done a bunch, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. So yeah, I'm going to be pushing as hard as I can.
Yeah. Where do they go to next?
Don't know yet.
Does that just get announced each year? Does it?
Yeah. So I think I've got a few options. I mean, we would love for it to come back to Australia again. I don't know if that's pushing our luck, whether they'll do the same place twice that's so far away.
Have they done that before, the same place twice?
They've done it in Scandinavia, I think, but that was like around COVID as well when it was easier to set up like one on the ice.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, but it'll be really cool to have it back or just to be involved in some way. So yeah, I've got notes in my calendar.
That's awesome.
Like when the appropriate intervals are to keep hustling.
Yeah, let them know, like just, it's been 4 weeks. I could probably send another text message now.
Exactly, yeah.